Welcome to the Christie Taylor Show. I'm your host, Christie Taylor. Super excited to have you here today. And we're going to be talking about purpose, passion, and profit. I'm looking forward to this conversation. An amazing entrepreneur, author, speaker, entertainment expert is here, Nicole Roberts Jones, uniquely gifted at one thing, drawing out what's best in you and helping you take your brilliance to the bank. A veteran of the entertainment industry, Nicole worked in talent management and casting before shifting her talents to help others bankroll their brilliance. Nicole now works with entrepreneurs to create multiple streams of income from what they have already have going on in order to build an empire from their expertise. Now, Nicole is also a nationally recognized transformational speaker, Bankroll Your Brilliance expert, and best-selling author of 4 books. Help me welcome to the Christie Taylor Show, Nicole Roberts Jones. Hi,
Woo!
Dr.
Excited to be here. Yay, excited. Look, I'm so excited to be here. This has been a long time coming, girl. So, yes,
It
thank you for
truly
having me.
has. It truly has. And just off top, how did you become? Well, I want to kind of go into the entertainment space because this is just
Mhm.
going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
How did you go from entertainment to being the purpose producer?
So if someone would have asked me years ago, so I started in this journey in 1993. If you would have asked me back then, did I choose to leave entertainment? I would tell you no. So I started in this journey when I had the job I've dreamed of ever since I was 7 years old. So back then, I was working for Viacom's largest cable network, and I'm going to give you an idea. So, Christy, I'm answering your question, but I want to give you guys
Yes,
a
take
little
your
scale.
time. Take your
Some of you
time.
guys, some of you are probably in the middle of a pivot right now. And again, I didn't realize what God was doing. I do now, but back then, I worked for Viacom's largest cable network. We had an outreach to over 89 million homes on a weekly basis. And then from there, I worked in casting for the number one TV show on Fox. And then from there, I worked with the entertainment group, and what we produced generated over $12.6 billion a year. So I'm only sharing that because I want you guys to realize I was playing really, really big. And Christy, if you know me like I think you know me, you know I was going to
Yes.
all the hot Hollywood parties,
Yes, you
bumping
were,
elbows with
honey.
all the
You were in the
stars.
room. You were in the
And
room.
I loved every minute of it. But in the dark of the night, when I was by myself, I felt like something was missing. And I couldn't understand how I could feel like this when I loved my job. And so that moment really is what started the catalyst to me looking up and figuring out what was that missing piece. And that really is how I started in this journey. And so to make a long story short, one of my good girlfriends asked me to volunteer at a youth program at our church one night. And when I started working with young women in my church, as their eyes lit up, my heart lit up, and I realized, oh my God, this is that thing. And I'm saying it just like that because that's what I called it, because this is 93. I didn't know what a coach was. But for the first time in my life, my soul was alive. And so I came to a crossroad. Do I stay in this job that I love, where my name is on list? It's perception, it's position, it's all the things we aspire to do when we graduate from college, and we have that list or that list period of all the things that we want to do with our life. Or do I go after this thing that I don't even know what to call? So that began my journey to start to coach. And so that is exactly what I did in 93. I went after this thing. And I've been doing it now for 28 years.
Well, first of all, can I say, Dr. Jones, a bravo, 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 because so many people are just now coming to that transformational, that pivot. And
Mhm.
I can't say that you did not cry in the middle of the night because oftentimes that's where the decision is. It's like, do I leave the life I dreamed of to do something I don't understand or know? And to know that you were on the forefront of coaching before,
Mhm.
like you said, before we knew the terms. So when you begin to move into this space, I guess I want to say, pausing once again, how did you get the circle that you were in
Mhm.
on your transformation? Because so many people can stay stuck because they don't have a supportive circle. Can you
Mhm.
share about that with us?
Sure. So I didn't have a supportive circle. So what I mean by that is I have great girlfriends. I had a group that said, I don't know what the heck you're doing, but tell me what you need me to do. And I had a group that talked about me and called me crazy. And so I had to alleviate that group because let me say this to you. When you're doing something you've never done before, you feel crazy. You don't need
Yes.
anybody to add to the crazy you're already feeling. But here's the thing I realized is that God was calling me to expand my territory. If you go through the Bible, and I'm a God's girl, y'all. So if you go through the
Yes.
Bible, anytime someone has been called to do something that's bigger than where they are, it's something they've never done before.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to let go of what perception and what other people thought, because if I focused on them, I would have stayed where I was. Now, also keep in mind, Chrissy, I was 23 in 1993. Y'all don't try to figure out how old I am. I was 23, so some of that I didn't know no better. Let me keep it
Yeah.
all the way real. And I know that God began it in that place, because
Mhm.
if I would have known better later and my checks would have been getting bigger, it would have been harder for me to leave. And
Yes.
so I had to start looking for, and this is one of the reasons why I'm a big, big, big supporter of everything I do. I do in community, because if you're
Mm.
doing something that's different than what your resume or your degree or whatever that is, and you don't have anybody around you that's doing it, how do you find the support you need? And so it took me so long to be successful in my business because I
Mm.
didn't have the support, and it took me too long to find it.
Wow, you know something, that is a beautiful gem. I hope y'all were picking up what she was putting down, because truly, if you don't have the circle, number one, still make the move. And then also the importance of changing out circles, cutting off people, in love, but your passion has to be more, the fuel that you need to move forward. But to know that you were in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And what I realize now is your conviction and your comfort can
Mhm.
never coexist. You're not going to be comfortable. When God is calling you to something
Mhm.
bigger, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Wow. Can I say this, Dr. Jones, that you're speaking from your 23-year-old self, your early 20s. And as you say, you've been in this space coaching and helping other people in their transition for almost 30 years. But can
Mhm.
you say that the same fears and challenges that you had at that age is something that you also see in your clients who may
Um,
be,
so
let's say, a
but
little
before my
older?
clients, I'm still dealing with it for me. So here's what I know, y'all. I call it the purpose matriculation system. I can't even talk. The purpose matriculation system. So we all know about the education matriculation system. We start in kindergarten and then we go through elementary and junior high and high school. Some of us go on to college and grad school, etc. Well, our
Mhm.
purpose matriculates the same way. The difference is God doesn't tell you the end from the beginning.
Ooh.
And so what happens is when you get to one place in your journey and that place is just no longer big enough for your gift, God is calling you to expand. Some of you, it might be a new role in the current career you're in. For me, he called me outside. Now, here's the thing that's interesting, Christy, on this end of the journey. Okay. So I passed a whole lot of matriculation. So my first was to work with teenage girls. I started a program, a nonprofit for African American teenage girls. It was faith based. It ended up being in 10 churches over time. And
Wow.
that worked. My girls
Mm.
started to get grown, y'all. They started having grown woman issues. One of them, well, a lot of them started calling me, but it was one of them that sent me an article and said, Nicole, you're my coach. Oh, is that what this is? So I
Wow.
started a coaching practice. I realized that I loved working with adults more than kids. So I no longer work with kids. That's part of Give Back, but I don't have that nonprofit anymore. That was
Mhm.
me matriculating. In the last year, God has also said, listen, I need you to make your work inclusive to men. So I'm sharing that with you because my purpose has matriculated. Had I at 23 started working with grown folk, I wasn't ready because I wasn't good and grown myself. And so my purpose has matriculated over time. And so what I realize is those of you that are lacking meaning, listen, we're in the middle of the great resignation. People
Yes.
in the middle of COVID are quitting because they're
Mhm.
realizing, why am I doing this job I hate?
Yes.
Why don't I
Yes.
find something that I love? That's no
Um,
coincidence. And so
mhm,
that's really kind
mhm,
of the journey I took, is to find that thing that I was
mm.
called to do, that I was purposed to do. And then it grows as you grow.
Okay, you speak of purpose, and I like the fact that you said faith based. I too am, honey, born and raised in the church, child. You know, my mom used to have a key because the pastor would be like, Sister Taylor, I'm gonna go and get a key to the church. So
Right.
I understand the power of faith.
Hmm.
So let's talk about that as we identify the steps to really discovering purpose.
Sure. And here's the thing I want you guys to get first.
Mhm.
If I ask you if you have ministry, would you raise your hand? Everybody should. You know why? The word ministry means to serve a group of people.
Ooh.
So your ministry may not be in church. I call myself a marketplace apostle. I'm clear. I'm not called to the church. I'm called to serve outside of the church. And so what I've learned in this journey from my own self is that purpose is something that's placed in you at birth by God. You have a
Mm,
natural propensity
mhm.
for certain things. You naturally love certain things. You're naturally gifted at certain things. That's not a coincidence. That's your purpose.
Right, right.
And so it's taking time to figure that out and really standing in it and only doing the things that are in alignment with it. Now, let me say caveat real quick. Okay. So obviously I'm working on a purpose, but I must tell you, as a CEO of my business, there's still things I have to do that I don't like balance my P&L, right? So you're not gonna like everything, but the 80% of your job you should love. And so it's really finding what that is. Here's the next thing I want to say about that, Christy, and I can go on a whole conversation for the next 5 hours about this. When we each get in alignment with God's assignment for our life, that's how we bring the kingdom. That's how we create the kingdom
Mhm.
on earth.
Ooh, okay. Where's the offering plate? I like the fact that you have, done something a lot of times people in the faith community struggle to understand is that the gifts that God give us is really for the entire world.
Yes.
That you said, what'd you say, a marketplace apostle? Is that
Mhm.
what you said?
And even the people that work at 9 to 5, I want y'all to get this. Even if
Yes.
you never become an entrepreneur, you're still called. Because listen, my iPhone blesses my soul. Okay. So when Steve Jobs created this using his gifts and talents, now Steve Jobs is no longer with us. So every
Yes.
person at Apple that's doing the thing they're great at, the programmers, now I'm not good at science, y'all. So roll with me. The programmers, all the people that keep coming up with new versions of this are blessing us. Listen, I think people take the Bible and they forget that the Bible was centuries ago. So there was no such thing as an iPhone in the Bible, okay? But when you look at the fact that God put resources all around
Mm,
us to
mhm,
be able to help each
mm.
other. That's what it says. Go read Genesis, y'all, when it says that
Yes.
God made the garden, put Adam in the garden to tend to it and keep it.
Yes.
So, in that same vein, all the things that we're creating now, the world is advanced. And so, all the things
Yes.
we're creating, the thing I want you to really ponder, those of you that are listening in, is are you creating or doing the thing you're doing? Is it in support of blessing somebody, some person, some business, something? Or are you taking away from someone, like a drug dealer? No judgment. That's not
Mm,
blessing nobody. Maybe
mm,
you, but the thing that you're putting in the community doesn't bless. So you've really
correct.
got to be clear on, are you doing the things that bless the kingdom and move the kingdom forward? Are you
Yes.
taking away from it?
Now, Dr. Jones, for those who may not be as, I'll say, well versed in some of the terminology like the kingdom, can you
Mhm,
can you for the person who's more in the marketplace,
mhm.
even give them an insight on what that is in their everyday life?
Sure. So, and I want you guys to get this. So, I'm not a religion person. I'm a relationship person. So, I'm
Yes.
saying this stuff that some of what I'm saying is not in the Bible. This is for me getting to know God for myself. Okay. So, don't you can some of this you're not gonna look up in the book and you're gonna say, Nicole, I didn't say that. I didn't say the Bible said that. I'm telling you what I feel from my relationship.
Mhm.
Okay. So, we live in the kingdom. The kingdom is the world. The world was created by God. So the goal here, you guys, is as we create, listen, we're all called to produce and create. God made wood. He didn't make a chair, but he made wood. He gave somebody the gift to make a chair. I want y'all to get
Mhm.
this. So when
Yeah.
you really are understanding that the world is the kingdom,
Mhm.
everything that's in it. And so how we create harmony in this world, listen, rich, I call rich rhythm in consistent harmony. Because when
Wow.
you have a rhythm about your purpose and you're consistent with it, it creates a harmony in this world. All these people, like our current, not our current president, our previous president, that's causing, we're not being political, but that
Yes,
was not harmony in the kingdom. I'm
that
sorry.
was not harmony. Mm-mm.
Even what's continuing to happen, the ripple from that doesn't create harmony and love. And God is love, y'all. So it's
Mm-mm.
really, for me, Christy, it's looking at how do I give love back? If we're
Ooh.
each created in God's image, how are we
Mhm.
reflecting his image in the work that we do?
I love the fact that you are marrying something that because once again, you're talking about coming into coaching before coaching was a thing.
Hmm.
And when it was so, off the beaten path, but now everybody knows I need a coach. And we're not just talking about athletes. Like, you need a business coach, you need a mentor in your space of your industry, your expertise. You need someone coaching you who knows how to do it and can
Right.
guide you. Transformational coaches like yourself. I love how you are marrying the love and the purpose and the world in as God's kingdom, like where God is dominating, and
Hmm.
how what we do, what we produce, is it of service to others? Now, can we sit there real quick, because some people be like, what I'm doing is not as important as fill in the blank. Dr. Jones, can you
Mm.
touch somebody's life right there?
So I'm gonna tell y'all. So this is in the Bible. I think it's in Second Corinthians. There's a Bible verse that talks about the hand has many members. So if the thumb says I don't need the pinky, doesn't mean the pinky goes away. Or if the first finger says that it doesn't need the thumb, does the thumb go away? So I want you to think about the fact that when you use your hand, right? How you use every single finger. I want you to pay attention to that. Well, the same way, no one's gift is any less than anybody else's. Just like I use this iPhone for an example. So the person that's putting an iPhone in the box is blessing my soul because I wouldn't get it if it wasn't in the box. Or the person on the assembly line, or the person that's working in the Apple store. All of those are a part of a system. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna get excited, y'all.
Come on,
I'm
get
working.
excited.
So I get excited because I'm researching. I'm working on my next book. So all this stuff you're asking me, I promise you, it's like God gave you a script. So because He showed me all this stuff to study. So God is a God of systems. I'm
Mhm.
saying that because take a sip of water. When you drink that water or soda or whatever, a glass of wine or whatever your favorite beverage is, when you drink that glass of beverage, I want you to realize it's going down your digestive system and how all the
Mm,
pieces of your body work together. Look up in the sky. You see
mm,
the sun, you see the moon, you see the stars. That's a solar system. Now, here's the thing about a solar system, y'all. We need the sun so that plants grow. We need the
okay.
seasons that are produced by sun and moon so that we have water. I can go on and on. All of that
Mhm,
is a system. So all
mhm,
of us are part of a system. Okay. So a
mhm,
business was created as an answer. Every person as the business grows, the way the business grows, Genesis 1:28 says, God said to be fruitful and multiply. How
mm,
do you multiply unless you expand the system? So when you get to an assembly line, when you get to, beginning to expand and duplicate and replicate the way you've created
mhm,
something,
mhm,
it helps you produce more. Why do you want to produce more? Now, most people say it's to make money. I want you to get this. Profit, by the way, means gain. So when
mm,
you do the thing you do, your gain is you get money because God wants you to live. But the profit for the person that gets it is they gain the need that they have. So when I buy my chair, that might have been on the assembly line, I'm gaining. When I buy
yes.
my iPhone, I keep using my iPhone because it's here and I love my iPhone. Right. I have everything, iPhone, MacBook, iPad. I got everything. And it all goes together. It's genius. And it helps
Yeah.
me because I can transfer data. I'm like, who thought of that? And at the
Yes.
end of that, that's
Mm,
God. So
yes.
to answer your question, there's no gift any less than anybody else's. The other question I get a lot, Christy, is people
Mhm,
think that pastors and preachers are more important than you and me, and that's not real. Yeah, they're
mhm,
important. They have an important part to play, but each
mhm.
of us are part of that hand, and each of us have a
Yes.
role to play.
I love this. I love this. Okay, so Dr. Nicole Roberts Jones is definitely a website you need to be making sure that you head to, even as we are on this interview, because I love the fact that you have so beautifully been able to put together something that a lot of people struggle with. And as the purpose producer, I want to, we got to make sure we get to this. You're helping people all over this country create income with impact. Now, let's
Mhm.
unpack that.
Sure. So, number one, when you start a business, you're starting the business as an answer. It ain't about you. If it's
Mhm.
about you, then you coming to the wrong girl because I'm gonna make sure that you get in alignment with God's assignment for you. Because when you die and go get to meet God face to face, I want him to say, "Job well done, you did it." I don't want him to say, "Go back, what happened?" So, one is you got to understand your business, your purpose, your gift that you want to start a business around is the answer to a group of people that need you. So that's
Mm,
the impact number one. Now, when you put it in a system, I call it a blueprint, then you can
mm,
serve more people with it. Again, God said, be fruitful and multiply. Fruitful means producing good results.
okay.
So when I'm able to do so, like for instance, I'm here with you, Christy, somebody's doing one of my programs and I'm not there. So that
Wow.
means that I can serve more people because if in your business, everything you do, you have to be present, you're capping off how much transformation you can put out there. And so it really is looking at how can you package your gift into a system, blueprint, so that you can serve more people and do more good in the world. So that's really income with impact, because ultimately the other piece is this. When I get to do the thing that I'm purposed to do and help you produce your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
then what happens is when you serve your clients, I'm a part of that system because you
Yes.
bless your clients, which is a part of my saying
Yes.
yes to my gift. So
Yes.
everything comes back to
Mhm.
system. And funny enough, going back to how I got started, so I worked in casting and I worked in production. What do I do now? Casting and production. Because what I'm doing is helping you take your purpose and put it in the right role in your business and then producing programs all around it. So I'm doing the same thing, just in a different arena.
Wow, just transferred the skill set
Hmm.
into a new arena.
Hmm.
I want to make sure we touch on this because oftentimes, as you say, a person can have a business and they are linked to their purpose. It is answering a need in someone else's life, and they do it joyfully. But the scalability of that is
Hmm.
oftentimes where we get stuck. Of course, I've been, now that I've been transitioning out of media as my primary, moving into consulting, learning these things, reading these books,
Hmm.
and meeting amazing people like yourself, I'm learning that I haven't positioned myself properly to know how to scale, to grow, as you say, to use my brilliance to bring the bank. Can we sit right there for a minute?
So I
Yeah.
love that you asked this because the first thing I see so many people. By the way, I had this issue too. I feel like, not feel like, I know that God had me go through so much in my entrepreneurial journey so that I get it when you come to me because I went through it too. So one, you've got to understand what your purpose is. I think so many of us try to be what I call generalist, meaning we're
Mm.
trying to serve too many people, and all money ain't good money.
Ooh, yeah.
So what I mean by that is when you're serving someone because you're like, "Ooh, I need the money," it's like, you already wrong because that's not why you
Mm.
should be serving someone. But we get into this desperation mode, which then means we're really not operating in our greatest gift. So it's
Mm.
really finding the specialization. I call it dominating in your lane. Because if you're
Mm.
running a race as a sprinter, you're not running in everybody's lane. When you do, you get disqualified. You're running in one lane. And so one is finding out what that one lane is. And once you do that, then that specialization will then help you break that down even further to all the ways you can serve people with it. Because ultimately, if I give you a tangible example, and I love to use her for an example, I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Deborah Tillman, who's America's Super Nanny. When she came
Wow.
to me, she was making money. So her issue wasn't making money.
Mhm.
But as a parenting coach, as someone that owns multiple child care centers, most people don't know that, and she's on TV and traveling, and
Mhm.
she had a waiting list of parents that either couldn't afford her or just couldn't get in with her because she was busy. And
Mhm.
so we created what I call a blueprint from her brilliance. And the first thing she said to me is, I tailor the experience every time I work with a parent. Now, she said it really sweet because Deborah's really sweet. And I said, okay, are you done with that? Now, I knew she was going to fire. First of all, I couldn't believe that came out of my mouth. But then I knew she was going to fire me after I said that little smart remark. I think she humored me. I gave her the homework I give to every single one of my clients. She
Mhm.
came back to our call, our second call, in tears. And I'm saying that because you are on autopilot every day. So
Mhm.
there are things intrinsic to your DNA, your distinct
Mhm.
natural ability, that you don't realize that you do because you just do you every day. And
Right,
so
exactly.
once you really get clear on that and package that is how you begin to create multiple ways to serve people.
Woo, I love the fact that you're making it sound simple. And I'm not saying it in a negative, but it's like you're making it
Right.
sound simple. So a lot of the ringing of the hands and the scratching of the head and like, this feels overwhelming. It's like, no. Number one, stop being a generalist, specialize in your true zone
What
of
can I
genius.
tell you? What can I tell you, Christy? It is overwhelming. You know why? Because you cannot see the label from inside the jar.
Ooh.
So again,
Mm.
okay, so, and this is vitamin water. Don't judge me. Okay, so this is my bottle of water. So if I am inside this bottle, I can't
Mhm.
see what I'm doing to you. Listen, I had to hire a coach too. I can't
Mhm.
coach myself, but there are
Mhm.
things that I do. So I would have never called myself a purpose producer. One of my clients called me that. So
Wow.
even working with my coach, she began to show me all the things I had been doing for free, by the way. Because you know we
Yes.
all give away our intellectual property,
Yes. Oh,
right?
yes, we do.
We pimping our gifts and don't realize it. And so it really takes an outside person to be able to see what you can't see about
Mhm,
yourself. I cannot say
mhm,
that enough. The number of
mhm.
people that see me on a thing like this, they go, "Oh, I tried to do that step thing. I know you tried, and I'm not trying to be funny. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself." Because
Right.
again, there's things you do that you don't realize that you do. And it's going to take an outside person to help you really quantify and define the gifts that you don't even realize that you're doing half the time.
With Dr. Jones, as we're coming to the wrap up, I want to make sure that people understand how easy it is to work with you. Number one, how do they reach out? And what
So
would be
number
that
one, look,
experience?
I'm gonna give you guys a gift now. And full disclosure, when you get this gift, you know you're gonna get an email from me. That means you can reply to the email, and you'll be first of all, you're gonna be in my database anyway, right? And I'm transparent. So what I want to gift you with is I'm gonna give. I'm trying to think which one. So both of these are gonna give you the same result. So I want to give you my DFM formula book. So Dominion Fruitful Multiply. That's what God has called all of us to do. DFMformulabook.com is free. In that book, it's going to show you how to get clear in your lane, how to understand how to produce good results from it, and how to create multiple streams of income. Matter of fact, I believe I walk you through 15 streams of income that are possible for you to multiply. Again, that's
Mhm.
DFM Formula Book, Dominion Fruitful Multiply, DFM Formulabook.com.
Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a gift. That's a gift. Make sure you go ahead, go there now. Dr. Nicole, oh my God, this is such a blessing. Any last words?
All I know is this: you can't wait. You know, there's never going to be a right time. I know for me, I had to jump all the way in. And I said this a little while ago, your conviction and comfort can't coexist. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy, but it's always worth it. So those
Mhm,
of you that know, like, you've been feeling this rumble, this thing inside you that it's time to make a shift, it's because it is. And so if
mhm,
the DFM formula book can help you and bless you and point you in the right direction, I'm happy to do that. But you've got to listen, tomorrow's not promised.
mhm,
So don't
mhm.
wait. Start the work you need to do to get in alignment with God's assignment for your life now.
Amen and amen. Well, this has been a true delight. We've been talking with Dr. Nicole Roberts Jones. Of course, you can check her out on her website. Go to NicoleRobertsJones.com. She's also on YouTube. Be sure to go there. She has some amazing videos so you can get even more of this experience. Then she's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn for those who would like to hang out
Everywhere, right?
is everywhere. And all you have to do, start at NicoleRobertsJones.com. And she actually has her social media icons linked out from there. And just one more time for those who are like a little slow, the free gift that you're giving them as watching the Christie Taylor Show today.
DFM, Dominion, Fruitful Multiply, DFM Formula Book.com.
All right, that is such a blessing. Well, thank you all so very much for checking this out today. I hope that this has blessed someone in a very true, true way. We are here as we're moving into the second half of 2022, really making sure that we continue to walk in our purpose with that passion. But I tell you, I like that profit part. Not only profiting yourself, but profiting others in the world that you live in. So thank you all so very much. And Dr. Nicole, thank you. And
No, thank
come
you.
back, come back anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. This is fun. I appreciate you.